Okay, so...
Wait, hold on, can I just clean that up?
Hello, my name is Wilson. I'm second year's university student and I live on a boat. It's called Melanie. And this summer I decided to build a pole on my boat and try to open the tower bridge. The original idea was basically come from a homeless guy back to Oxford. One afternoon he was talking about kind of how people in the old days used to put an empty bucket on the top of the cell to signal the tower bridge to open, but they don't do it anymore because well, you have to pay a lot of money. So I went to the tower bridge and asked, how much do you actually have to pay to open the tower bridge? And they said it's free, but it won't open for a canal boat because it's too short, unless I got a pole. Just.
How about?
At the time when we actually tried to buy the material, we have no idea what material we are trying to buy because basically it's a no-plan job. So we got onto the train, we talk about it and try to see what we need and just grab it. Let's go back to wood. Joe, let's go back to wood.
Ask someone else if there's any.
What? Wood.
This is somewhat insane. Probably hasn't been done before, and I don't have a clue how it's going to work, but we'll wait and see. It's a bit bouncy.
To open the tower bridge. There you go, Jeremy. It's laughing again. And yeah, and that was always funny to tell them and see their reaction on their face when I tell them like, oh yeah, I'm building a pole to open the tower bridge. And we started our kind of embarrassing moment in you know, putting all the woods we need, which is about, original prediction was 12 meters long. So we put a whole bunch of wood on the floor in B&Q and tried to see how to construct the actual pole to make it like 12 meters long. And everyone just walked around just like staring at us like, what the hell are they doing? When we trying to go back, head back to the boat, and the situation getting better, it starts to rain.
It's not good to get wood wet. Where's it beeping?
I have no idea. And so we were thinking it might be affects the quality of the wood if it's got water in it. So wait for a bit, but it didn't turn out very well. So we decided to just go along anyway. And one of the very I think challenging thing is when we actually got onto the train and take the train back to St. Pancras. We took the wrong train.
So what's your opinion of Hendon?
Hendon? Can't see very much of it, to be honest.
Of what?
Of Hendon.
On the first day, Joe and I basically built a kind of little cross in 3-dimensional. We have a 3-day schedule, so the second day we started to build a long bit, which is the actual pole all the way along the boat, basically. The boat was about 10.5 meters long, so the assumption was if we have the base is about 2 meters, and we just build another pole as long as the boat, and then we put it on.
Stop that. Just test it before we go on. It started out quite sort of like a calm before the storm, really. You know, when it started it was just like building and thinking about how's it going to happen, but not really knowing. So it was a bit like this sort of, you weren't really sure how things were going to happen. So it was kind of calm, just building. You know, I had my reservations about the pole, but we built it. I'm fucking terrified.
Oh fuck! Okay, so okay, give it a heart, give a hand, give it a heart, give a hand.
Ensuring the pole doesn't smash and break and fall on our heads, and getting it to be 12 meters long and not break too.
Also, there was the day when I got a ticket from the guy who worked for British Waterway.
That is
Cheers, man.
Let's
Thank
just
you.
go and do the block clear.
Yep, got it.
If there's any
Yep.
issues, just give us a shout.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So, that was the perfect timing actually, because once we built the pole, we were planning to just drive down to Limehouse and actually start the actual adventure. Yeah, the second afternoon or night, we moved to Limehouse. By the way, the day before was the first time I actually go to the Thames and look at the Thames, like massive river, and it's actually it's kind of scary. We'll have a worry that if we actually have a very big poles up already, then the lock might not actually let us to go out in the Thames. So what happened is we decide to like once we go out of the lock, we tie it up first, and then we put the pole up, and then we travel down to the Tower Bridge. And in that case, then, well, we are out in the Thames anyway. So when we come back, we won't have the pole on it. Well, we stopped, but we go into the lock, we go out the lock, and we tied it up. And then, according to the lock keeper Jeremy, he just told me like, we were quite surprised you actually tie up your boats once you get out of the lock. Guys, what the hell are you doing? Really? And I just basically saying we're just putting a pole up and just like us doing projects and all that stuff. And at that point, I think Joe was freaked out.
When we got out there for the first time onto the Thames, you know, I felt the true sort of thing that we were undertaking, like what it was really going to be like. You know, it became apparent to me more. Like, even though I predicted it would be somewhat like that, it became like real. And I think, you know, I was like, Jesus, this pole is going to fall down on my head when we go out there. The whole boat's going to tip over. Everyone's saying the boat's going to tip over, the wind's going to knock it over. So, you know, it became real.
Right now.
How are you doing?
He said he basically suddenly we construct the whole idea of the pole, like say he only going out if only the pole is going to go all the way down to the bottom, not on the base, because he doesn't trust the base at the time. And in that way, basically, I realized that first of all, the pole is not going long enough. Second of all, is because of you change the structure, the whole pole would actually weaken, and you actually put it on the top.
Every bit of rope round.
Literally still can't believe that he's the first person who like kind of give up, because like in other way I know him, he's kind of like more looking for it to kind of like physical challenge and stuff, and he's the most built guys in the whole crew. Let's be fair. In normal daytime, you don't actually see people who show that kind of fear in day-to-day life, and it's great to see that in that kind of circumstances. And yeah, and at last Justin's arrived about like an hour late, but he made it, and it's kind of in a decision that we three of us stand together and just discuss like, should we actually do it or should we not do it? Justin just say, alright, fuck it, let's just do it. Justin is the one who can't actually swim, so he put the life jacket on, and the rest of us basically ready to go.
But yeah, so, but then the engine broke down, so whatever would have happened, we don't know, and we didn't go out.
Miracle happened.
I have to say I was quite pleased, to be honest.
Thoughts at the moment?
I would. I think it'll work. I think it'll work if we rethink it.
No, I don't. I think you should just give up.
No. I think we just have to do it again. So we just have to replan it and do it, you know, the whole thing again. Basically, go down to Limehouse and build the poles and go out to the Thames again, and I wasn't very happy about that because in my mind it's supposed to finish in 3 days, and now if I think about that, it should be the reason why I was trying so hard to push it, because I want to finish this so much. We're in Limehouse, it's 2 weeks later. We're waiting because I thought the tie is going to be ruffled at the same time in 2 weeks time, but it seems, according to the boathouse locker, they said it's basically delayed to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be high tide.
What's the difference this time with the pole?
Well, it's not going to be as heavy, hopefully.
But because we're building the pole, apparently they got the wrong idea that we're actually putting the pole up again, ignoring their advice. So this time the police comes around and check us out.
What sort of thing?
We're trying to basically build a pole along.
Tell me about your encounter with the rubber fleece.
Oh yeah, they're a little bit concerned in the first place because they didn't know what we were actually doing. Once I explained, basically, I actually read this rule and stuff, and explained basically, well, I think they understand that there's no law actually against the whole project being done. So he turned another around to say there's no way to actually provide stability. What? Stability, there you go. The point is that I think they have the impression that, well, at least you're doing this as a kind of some project instead of, you know, just getting drunk and making travels instead, you know, in an hour wait. So they're kind of saying we just need to get more prepared for that.
I think, yeah, I think actually when we went out on the Thames, it was pretty, you know, it was pretty fun. I mean, I liked it a lot, you know, going out there. Yeah, really nice view. It's nice when the wind and everything was kind of refreshing. I liked it a lot. And like seeing the city from the river and seeing all the ships and the battleship and everything, I thought it was brilliant. So I'm really glad we went out.
And when we're actually in the river, the police boats actually come around and chat us out and say like, "Oh, are you Wilson now?" I was like, "Oh, how you know me?" And we have a kind of like little quick conversation about like what my plan actually is. And once I actually got into the Thames, that was actually quite scary because it's go up and down. And you lost quite a lot of control of the boat. So I was saying, well, that's actually stupid to put a pole up because it's actually possible to row it down. And I'm not intended to. I mean, I'm intent to do it with kind of like sensible way.
I think you kind of realised how difficult a challenge it was to actually do what we original aim set out to do. Like, I think because you said yourself, like, we're not going to come out on the Thames with the pole up, for example, and I think like it became clear that just wasn't going to happen. So I think by the end of it, I think you were probably more content towards what we did actually do. Whereas before, when we just went out and we never went on the river, you were slightly more sort of disappointed that it didn't happen. You know? Whereas once we actually went out, I think you realised how risky it was. We were actually driving the boat back to the lock. Tower Bridge called me and say like, "Oh, we actually just realised that what you're actually trying to do, a canal boat putting a pole up, and we're not going to open for you." After we go into the lock, more down, thinking like, okay, this is it, and then the Tower Bridge call again and say, actually, the time that we actually booked it on the day before was going to open anyway. So he asked me if I really want to do it, then I should actually take the advantage to, you know, drive the boat down and, you know, just open it. So I have a quick chat with Joe and Alice, and we all agree that we're going to do it again. At some point I don't really want to, but because I'm kind of like really want to finish the whole project, and it's not as good as what I'm trying to achieve in the first place, but I think the whole story should have a happy ending. Outside with a
So the last day we just drive down to the Tower Bridge, and the original idea was basically we just drive down, turn around, and when the boats come to us, we just go straight, basically go like opposite direction, and once they got through, the bridge is still open and we just go all the way through. So that will be still working, because when we go back we're against the tide, so it's better to turn around first, so we got more time to head back. But it ended up, basically there's another Capital City cruise, big ships, and just like come down and just let the tourists like taking pictures and all that. So it was actually in our way. Plus the tide was actually one of the strongest in the year. It's called a spring tide, and it's basically pushed us backward so hardly that we actually hardly can, you know, travel any distance against the tide. And kind of a little bit of a disappointment that when we're actually going through the middle of the bridge has already closed it.
Closes.
Oh, well, no.
A race against time.
What? Well, we're going. I've watched the big cruise. You can see cruise is fucking very empty. Lady. Oh. Right, our turn. Oh, come on. And I'm also glad we went through the middle of Tower Bridge, so we did kind of at least go where we said we wanted to go, through the middle. You know, if we hadn't done that, it would have been like, I think the fact that we managed to get that far at least has a sort of sub-victory to the whole project, because we did go on the turns, and we did see it open things, so it wasn't like a complete like complete failure. And there was another big boat, it's the City Crew again. And they just drive past us on the left hand side and it's get a massive wave and leave the whole boat up. And now I just know from my engineer, it's actually happening quite a lot in big ships, but not in the small boats. Like the whole boat's got lifted up. But anyway, post to our success. Oh yeah. How about that? Oh, the final shot. Yeah. we go back very slowly. About half an hour with 200 meters only, and I was started to worry because the engine started to get a little bit of noise, and yeah, and then it broke down. Oh, that sounds good. So we anchored the whole boat with the anchor that the lockkeeper told us it might not be big enough, with the rope that they suggest that might not be long enough, and it works. Big fail. So is that going to cost us money? I think it's going to cost me money. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, I should have been precise. Luckily, the police comes around and just told us. And I'm glad we broke down. I think that was cool that the police sort of saved us. I think it was a good ending, so perfect ending. In some way it's kind of like a perfect ending, just to make the way back less boring, I think. So yeah, there you go, that's the story. Can you do it, Captain? Can you do it?